Hi, I'm Christina.
I'm Maya from Bookworm Dreams, and welcome to a new video.
So as you can see, today we are doing our March TBR, and Maya has gone well and beyond to to make her TBR big.
It's not my fault.
It's just the fault of so many
readathons happening in 1 week of March. From like the 14th to the 20th, there's like 3 things happening in that week, and I'm only participating in 2. So, I mean, I should be praised for not doing the 3 ones. I mean, because it's ridiculous, and I also have to work and do stuff, and I can't just read.
So, let's just start with the first one that we are both participating in, and that is Orilium, which is a readathon hosted by G from Book Roast. We will leave all the links down below about the readathon and everything. I think this this is like a mini Orilium.
Yes, this is like prep for going to school.
Yes, prep for going to school, and it is from the 14th to the 20th, right?
Yes,
March, and basically you have 2 prompts in the entire. Like, I cannot explain to you now the entire world because G has created like just, you know, races in the world, like different
settings, locations,
continents, conduits, legacies, guilds, like literally just so much. Just go watch her videos about it, because she just explains it so much better than I ever could. So basically,
the point is to find your conduit of magic.
Yes. And
to work to basically read a book for a legacy of your guild. So a gift that your guild gives you that will help you in your journey.
Exactly.
Right.
So for my conduit, I chose a quarterstaff. Quarter.
You have to say the T.
Quarter.
Yes, it's a quarterstaff.
Quarterstaff. Okay. For my character, and I need to read a book that is part of a quartet.
Yes.
And luckily enough, we are reading The Greatcoats, which, luckily enough, has 4 books. And therefore, I will be reading Saint's Blood by Sebastian de Castell, which is the 3rd book in the series, which we will be reviewing once we...
Yes, I will also be reading this book, but not part of the readathon. Yes. So basically, in this book, we follow Falkio and the gang, and they are figuring out that someone is killing the saints of their world.
I had no idea about that.
Oh yeah, their world is filled with saints of, like, you have the saint of swordsmanship.
No, saints of swords.
Saints of swords, right?
You have the saint of mercy
that we met so far. You know, so have different kinds of saints. Yeah. And basically someone is killing them, and the dukes have taken this as a sign of the gods that they do not approve of the future queen of the land, and are going to take this as an opportunity to mess up all of Falkio's plans to have the Greatcoats basically go around the country and do their job, as they did many moons ago.
Yes. What is your conduit?
My conduit, see, I kind of cheated, but that's fine.
That's fine.
Basically, my conduit is basically an orb. But I thought it would be really stupid to have my character, which is a dwarf, to go around with an orb in their hands. So I was like, I'm going to give my character a staff. So I'm going to read 2 things for this conduit. So something for a staff and something for orb. So for staff, I have to read a book that is from a series. And I'm going to read I Think I Might Love You by Christina C. Jones, which is a pick for our book club that we have with our friends. And this is a romantic novella. Yes. Basically, we follow Jacqueline and Caden, I think. Basically, Jacqueline, as I figured, is a magnet for trouble. And she's basically trying to find balance in her life. And Caden is just trying not to be involved in the chaos. And they together, I guess, will come together and have a romance of some sort. So, yeah, that's the one. And for orb, I have to read something with sun on the cover or title or whatnot. So this was, I mean, in different ways I tried to put like short books in this one, but I finally settled on Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Basically, you see the sun here, tiny, and it's coming out, but it's the sun, and this is much better than the other book that I had picked that had 750 pages, and so Basically, in this story, we follow a group of actors who are going around in a world that's been ravaged by a flu that murdered a bunch of people. And they're going around putting on plays and such. And then I guess stuff happens. I think they come across like this doomsday cult.
Okay.
And the leader of the doomsday cult is trying to destroy them. I think that's generally what this is about, but I have no idea. It could be something completely different if I read it, because this has been on my TBR several times. Hasn't been read yet, obviously. So this is something I have to read for the Orb Conduit.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to it.
And the second thing I'm reading for Orilium, which is my legacy of my guild. And my guild is Order of the Crescent. And, well, my legacy is an animal familiar.
Ooh,
so I get to, like, have a familiar, which is awesome because I always love those.
Why should you pick a bird?
Because I'm an air earthling which has wings.
Oh, all right. Okay,
yes.
Good.
If I if I manage to kind of agree on it with a friend of mine, she will draw my character.
Oh,
so I'll
cool.
actually have a picture of it, and I'll show you at some point during Orilium how my character is gonna look. But basically, it's like human, but with wings and like purple spots, leopard spots.
Cool.
That can. That can, oh my god, not manage air and air currents, but control.
Right.
Thank you. So basically, you have to read a book that has your familiar on either the cover, the title, in the book itself. So I just kind of went with the cover and actually looked around. I had 3 books with a familiar, so I just chose bird because I have wings. Okay, technically I chose, is it a crow, Rana? So a crow because they're really smart and there's a lot of them around my building, so like, I don't know, it felt appropriate.
Cool.
And basically I have 2 choices because there's birds on the cover, so I'm not sure which one I'll pick, or maybe I'll read both, I don't know. So one is Race to the Sun by Rebecca Dronhorse, and I didn't actually read what this is about, but if I remember correctly, this is just about this is just like about a girl whose dad gets kidnapped.
All right.
She has Navajo heritage, and like there's like people who are people but are in essence some kind of monsters from this Navajo. I'm so sorry, Navajo. Stories and
are they like shapeshifters or
something like that, I think.
Right.
And basically she and her brother have to go to this kind of temple of sorts where she gets like some kind of abilities to save her father.
Okay.
So something like that. And the other book that so I mean, you see there's like she on like some kind of bird. And then we have the bear and the nightingale. Okay, this is the nightingale, but like basically a bird is fine. And I don't really know what this is about. I know Maya speaks very highly of this, and she has lent me her book. See the tabs. So basically, yeah, maybe that.
Oh, do you want me to tell you what the book is about?
No, they'll find out if I read it.
All right. For my guild legacy, I am. Oh my god, what's the name of my guild? Something arcane.
House of
the Arcane, right? Basically, I chose to have a ring of protection, and for that I have to read a middle grade, and I picked Sal and Gabby Fix the Universe by, oh my god, Carlos Hernandez. I think it's Carlos Hernandez. Basically, in the first one, Sal and Gabby break the universe. Sal thinks he's a magician because he can do some tricks, but he basically can open wormholes. With his powers, and then take stuff from different worlds, right? And in the first one, they sort of break the universe, kind of fix it, but in this one, they're fixing it for real because of every wormhole that he opens, his father wants to close because the wormholes are tearing the reality apart and whatnot. Okay. But they have some trouble because a rogue Gabby comes from parallel universe to their universe and then causes a lot of trouble because to avenge her world that has been destroyed. So they have to find her and get her back to her, I guess, universe or somewhere else. And also Gabby's friend, her name is Yasmani, has disappeared, and they have to find her as well. So basically in the first one, Sal is, you know, very, I don't want to say magical, but he's very loosey-goosey and stuff. Okay. While Gabby is like, you know, she's the valedictorian. Yeah, that one. And she's the president of the student council, and she wants to help everybody and fix things and so on. And each of them have their own family troubles. But basically in the entire first book, I listened to it in audio. It was so good because they kept talking about Cuban food the entire time. And I was like, oh my God, I want to eat some Cuban food. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to the sequel. It's going to be really fun, I can already tell. Yes. Yeah, so
that's it for Orilium. Yeah. And now I give the floor to Maya and her second.
Alright, so the second readathon I'm participating in is Draconathon Spring Readathon that is happening from the 13th, I think, to the 20th. Basically, Jade from Jade Juniper and Soleil from National Reading Corner. I'm so sorry, I forgot your channel name. We will leave the link to everything down below. Basically, they have a Draconathon readathon that usually happens around, I think, August or whatnot, where you have to read books with dragons. And they created this small spring readathon for you to enjoy. And there's like a bingo board with 9 prompts. And you can like read one book for every prompt that fits and so on. For this, I picked one book because it's a week-long readathon, and I decided to... do you have that one?
No, I just remembered. I just really want it.
Alright. I decided to read one book, and that is Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. This is book 2 in the Nikolai trilogy, the duology, sorry. And it's part of the Grishaverse. Now, if you don't know who Nikolai is, he appears in the second book of the Grishaverse. He is basically a royal. He's very smart, inventive. He invents a lot of stuff. Who gets in...
He's like a privateer in the beginning.
Yes.
I'm royal playing as a privateer.
Privateer, right. So he's basically a pirate. And in the first one, so in his Grishaverse stint, he gets turned into something else. And that something else is very scary and definitely threatens his position as the royal. And in the first book, we follow as he's trying to deal with that with some of the Grishas that we've met in the previous books. So we have Zoya, we have Nina, if I believe, right? And stuff happens, which I honestly don't remember, but she said it doesn't matter because everything gets sort of summarized in the beginning of the second one. So I'm going to read the second one, which should have dragons, apparently, because I don't remember.
It won't.
All right.
But it has.
It should also have privateers, I've been told, which is one of the prompts from for the bingo board and other stuff. So I'm going to read that for this readathon. I'm looking forward to it. I'm listening to it on audio because when I read the first one, it was so good. Ooh. Yes, yes. And also I'm participating in the Buzzword Readathon, which was created by Kayla from Books and Lala. And basically the point is to every month has its own buzzword that you can see in many of the books. So the buzzword for March is location. Now the thing is with this readathon that I kind of failed the first one, but kind of squeaked by from January because the first one was the WH word, so when, who, when, blah blah.
So you got the sci-fi romance.
I read the sci-fi romance for that because I had another book in mind but didn't get to it. The second one is to read for February was to read pronouns. Yeah. Right, and I'm reading currently right now. I'm still reading. I have 3 days left to finish. Do You Dream of Terra 2 by Tammy O. Has more characters than plot, that's why it's getting me trouble. But so far it is interesting, and that's what's keeping me going. The third one, location. I've been inspired by her to look through my actual physical shelves and not to go and you know go through stuff. And I picked this one. This is called The Door of Eden by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Oh, let me read you what this humongous book that has 500, almost 600 pages. So basically this is the book. 4 years ago, 2 girls went to find the mythical creatures on Bodomin Moor. Only one came back. Lee thought she'd lost Mal forever, yet now she's miraculously returned. But what really happened on the moors? That's how you say it. Anyway, MI5's Julian, something I cannot pronounce, is investigating an attack on top physicists, something also I cannot pronounce. This leads Julian to clash with agents of an unknown power, which may or may not be human. This is where the sci-fi things come in. But his only clue is grainy footage showing a woman who supposedly died on Badman Moor. Dr. Khan's research has revealed cracks between our world and parallel Earths. Now these are widening, revealing extraordinary creatures. Jesus. And as the doors crash open, anything could come through. So I'm like banking on that Eden being the location, since Eden is like heaven and location. Literally, the point of this Buzzword Readathon is for me to read more pure sci-fi stuff. So this is the sci-fi stuff that I have that has a location on the title. So that's yeah. And another tiny thing I want to try to fit in, because I'm trying to finish my Reddit bingo fantasy thing challenge, is to read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And it's about Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein creates a monster of dead parts, and the monster gets loose and does stuff. That's all I know. I haven't read it. I've seen some like what do you call them? Other media stuff, like shows and stuff. But yeah, I haven't read the book, and this would fit for the prompt of gothic fantasy. Okay. So yeah, it was either that or reread Gideon the Ninth, and I could not make myself do that again, because that was I remember awful. That was really. All right, so that's basically it for my TBR and our TBR. Yeah. Things might be added. Things might not be read, but yeah, if you are going to participate in any of the readathons, please do let us know down below. If you are going to read or have already read some of the books that we have mentioned, please do let us know down in the comments. Oh, right. Please like, share, subscribe. Press the bell button if you want to get notifications whenever we post new videos. Please do check out the links in the description box. There will be links for current events and how you can help. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video. Bye. Bye.